What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Now, as some of you will know by now, the channel was demonetised Thursday night because I don't add commentary to most of my videos according to YouTube. So this is not We Got a Problem you are listening to, it's just a figment of your imagination. I must be a BBC, ITV, LBC or Sky News host, as I happen to comment on political segments from all of these channels, yet I don't comment on my own videos. Me and a few others expected the channel to get demonetised, so that's not really a surprise. But what is a surprise is the stupid reason YouTube have given me. In YouTube's eyes, I say nothing on the majority of my videos, so the things I do say in response to the lies we see on the media must be fine with YouTube. We all thought it would be the things I say that would get YouTube's knickers in a twist, not them claiming I don't say anything on my videos. I would laugh, but it's actually an insult to the amount of time and effort I put into these videos. So thanks YouTube, it's nice to know you appreciate the creators' time and efforts making their content. Anyway, enough of mocking YouTube's stupidity. We have a little peach here. I don't know if everyone remembers Jo Swinson saying the Lib Dems could win an election and she could be the Prime Minister. Well, a recent BBC Radio 4 interview has completely rubbished that idea, along with damaging the chances of stopping a no-deal Brexit that Jo and the other undemocratic traitors have tried their best to stop. Now, since this is a Remoaner discussing this anti-democratic plot with another Remoaner, the host's animosity is clearly because she's a Corbynista that really wants the Marxist Labour Party to be in government. And of course, as we know, Jo Swinson and the Lib Dems are a protest vote, so if she backs Labour's position, her party's votes will dwindle. She knows this, which is why she's so against Commissar Corbynov running the show. Let's check out what was said and try and add some commentary to keep YouTube happy.
In just over a fortnight, Parliament will return from its summer recess and opposition parties opposed to Brexit will be able to put into motion any plans they have for trying to stop the UK leaving the EU on the 31st of October. But for any plan to succeed, it first has to be agreed among all the many and various pro-EU parties and MPs. The Labour leader Jeremy Corbyns has suggested that he should form a strictly time-limited caretaker government, and that's a suggestion that was initially dismissed by the new Lib Dem leader as nonsense. But since then she's written to Mr Corbyn offering to discuss how their parties can work together. And Jo Swinson, leader of the Liberal Democrats, is on the line now. You've changed your tune pretty quickly. You've gone from saying Jeremy Corbyn's idea is not a serious attempt to find the right solution to saying you want to talk to him about it.
Well, I've always said that I wanted to talk to him about it, and I think that dialogue is really important between anyone who wants to stop a no-deal Brexit.
It's not encouraging dialogue when you call his ideas nonsense, is it? Which was your initial response.
I think we have to focus on how we can actually succeed in stopping no deal, because the clock is ticking. And I think that it's good to talk with other parties, and I'm doing that. I've been doing that all summer. And obviously, just before the House of Commons rose for the recess, I, encouraged Jeremy Corbyn to table a vote of no confidence, which he didn't do. But we need to be focused on what can actually work. Now, the plan I've put forward, we could pass a law to require an extension of Article 50 to have a people's vote, or it may well be that it comes to requiring an emergency government, and I've suggested that would best be led perhaps by an MP who has long service in the House, very experienced, and great respect on both sides of the House, somebody like Harriet Harman or Ken Clarke.
We'll come to that idea in a minute, but Jeremy Corbyn is the leader of the opposition. If the only way to form an alternative government is to have him leading it, what is your objection to that?
Well, in order to stop a no-deal Brexit, you have to win votes in Parliament. And at the end of the day, politics comes down to, can you add up? Can you work out where those votes are coming from?
Yes, and Jeremy Corbyn has more MPs than any other party in the House, other than the Tories. He is the leader of the largest opposition party. It makes sense for him to form a caretaker government.
Apart from the fact that we've already had 7 or 8 MPs on the opposition benches saying that they couldn't support his leadership of a caretaker government. The Change UK MPs have made that clear. Ian Austin, Heidi Allen. So we've already got people on the opposition benches who have said that they can't do that. And so,
we've got
just
four
say, where are
former
the 8
Tory
Conservative
ministers
rebels
who are prepared to discuss this with Jeremy Corbyn, and there will be plenty of Labour MPs who are not prepared to support anybody other than the leader of the opposition on this caretaker government. Nicola Sturgeon says your opposition to working with Jeremy Corbyn is daft.
Well, look, I want to deliver us staying in the European Union. I want to stop Brexit, and I'll recognise that what we need to do, the immediate urgency, is stopping a no-deal Brexit. But people in number 10, Dominic Cummings, Boris Johnson, they will be rubbing their hands at the fact that we are talking about a plan here that has no chance of success.
It has no chance of success because you're refusing to get behind it. I mean, you say that your number one priority is to stop Brexit. It sounds as though actually what you're putting ahead of that priority is stopping Jeremy Corbyn.
Not at all. Look, even if Liberal Democrats did support Jeremy Corbyn, the numbers don't stack up because of those 8 MPs on the opposition benches. And, we're also looking at, there's about 10 MPs who've left the Labour Party because of Jeremy Corbyn's leadership who are sitting in the opposition benches, many of whom I think are unlikely to support him. And for every one of those, he needs to get a Conservative MP to back him in this way. And, I of course, it's important that we have talks, and I'm engaged in those talks and have been for months through the People's Vote campaign and beyond. But those Conservative MPs, are very clear. They're not about to put Jeremy Corbyn in number 10. And actually, in my letter to him, I said, look, if he's had commitments from Conservative MPs that they will back him in this way, then please let us know. But I just like
right,
name
so
them. Who are these 8 Tory MPs going to be that are going to back Jeremy Corbyn?
So you've suggested somebody else ought to take leadership of this government. Somebody you suggested like Ken Clarke or Harriet Harman. Have you actually asked either of them if they'd be prepared to do it?
Yeah, I have been in touch with them because obviously you don't just mention people's names without checking that they're okay with that. I mean, both of those are long-serving members of Parliament, the most experienced MPs in the House, the father and mother of the House, as they're called in the House.
And
of
did
Commons.
they actually say to you that they were prepared to lead a government of national unity?
They put public duty first, and they don't want to see a no-deal Brexit. And if the House of Commons asks them to lead an emergency government to get our country out of this Brexit mess and to stop us driving off that cliff to a no-deal, then yes, they're prepared to do that. And I think that is to their credit. It doesn't need to be them. If Jeremy Corbyn has got another suggestion of an experienced MP who has that respect across the House, let's talk about it. But what we need to do, we don't have very long. We need to focus on plans that will work to stop.
We don't have very long either, so I'll have to stop you there, Joe.
Okay, so this BBC host is 100% a Marxist Corbyn supporter. The sort of animosity she's showing is usually saved for Brexiteers, but you can tell this host is not happy with Jo Swinson and the Lib Dem's refusal to back Jeremy Corbyn's proposed government. I mean, how often does a BBC host interrupt one of the most ardent Remoaners in the country? It's not often. But the BBC bias is not just aimed at Brexiteers anymore, it seems. It's anyone who does not support the Commissar. The BBC host is here to promote the idea of a temporary Corbyn government to block a no-deal Brexit, not a government with the Lib Dem's approved candidate or Jo Swinson leading it. This goes to show why the Remainers are unlikely to be able to stop anything. The people who are pushing hardest to lead this are extremely divisive characters. You obviously have the wank-stained Commissar Corbynov that even his own party's MPs and voters don't trust. The Liberal Democrats leader Jo Swinson, who has openly admitted she would not listen to any referendum that voted leave. The SNP leader Nicola Fishlip Sturgeon, who has already ignored 2 referendum results. And let's not forget the Tory party rebels. Dominic Grieve, Philip Hammond, Rory the Soy Boy Stuart and the rest of them, who all voted for Article 50 and a no-deal Brexit. They won't be able to lead this temporary government because the Labour Party and Lib Dems wouldn't back them, and they will all likely be kicked out of the Tory party and deselected soon. We have to remember that Jeremy Corbyn is too much of an egomaniac to allow some shit-kicker MP to be temporary Prime Minister, because Corbyn knows it's his only chance to get his hands on power. He is never going to get a voting majority in a general election, let's be honest. I'm sure sure him and the Labour Party know that. When Jo Swinson points out Dominic Cummings and the Brexiteers at number 10 will be rubbing their hands at the fact these Remoaners are squabbling over a plan that likely won't work because they are all too tribal. You remember the other day when we had media shitweasels calling the Brexit versus Remain debate tribal? Well, actually, the only tribal fights in this debate are between the different factions led by the Marxist fuckpig Commissar Corbynov and the Liberal Femocrats commie cumbucket leader Jo Swinson, because they both know they're on the precipice of failure, not only in regards to Brexit, but in regards to political relevance also. Once Brexit is done, the Lib Fems are back to shit-kicker party status that no one even talks about, and if Corbyn loses another general election or fails to prevent Brexit, his party will mutiny against him and his time will be over. The Labour Party will install another Marxist as leader and the cycle will continue. The salty host points out Jo Swinson is putting party politics ahead of a no-deal Brexit, which might be true, but us Brexiteers are not complaining about that for two reasons. First, we don't want Corbyn as Prime Minister and neither does most of the country, even a temporary one. And secondly, the more they fight, the more time they waste, and the closer a WTO Brexit gets. It's a win-win situation. We are all going to bathe in Remoaners' tears come October 31st. Jo Swinson then points out to the host what many have been saying for a while. Corbyn can't lead a government because a lot of MPs won't back him. Not just cross-party MPs, but his own. The numbers in Parliament are not there, and I doubt any Remoaner MP could get enough support to take over as Prime Minister. Any Tory MP is going to be sceptical of voting a Labour MP into power, and if these Tory traitors don't back the government in the no confidence vote, they can be deselected. Take Dominic Grieve for instance, who should have already been kicked to the curb. So a Remoaner plot could not necessarily rely on them to bring up the numbers in Parliament, as they won't support Corbyn or his Marxist party, and they might not well be MPs anymore. They finish up that clip discussing the various names they hope will get some support in Parliament, which I am still doubtful any of them could, if a no confidence vote in the government succeeds, which is not likely at the moment. The numbers being bandied around at the moment suggest the government would actually win a no confidence vote, since the Labour rebels and independent Brexiteers, along with the Tory party and DUP MPs, outnumber these hardcore Remoaners who want to stop Brexit. Of course, this can all change, so there is still a chance these Remoaners can pull some shitweasel tricks to block a no-deal Brexit and extend Article 50 or revoke it. But I would say this interview has shown the BBC host is getting a little bit worried about a no-deal Brexit and these Remoaners' complete incompetence when it comes to stopping it. There was the sort of animosity in that woman's voice that is usually reserved for Brexiteers or Tommy Robinson, UKIP, you know, the usual suspects. But now they know the end is near, they are turning on each other. Jo was savaged by the BBC host for her flip-flop attitude towards a Corbyn-led government and the damage it could do to the Remain cause. I do love seeing these Remoaners eat each other though when it begins to sink in that the lies and smears won't work and their pathetic attempts to stop Brexit are like a floppy cock, completely useless. Well, I'm going to end the video there guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like, subscribe and share this video as it helps the channel a lot, and I will see you all in the next one. And remember guys, this video was brought to you by a figment of your imagination, since I do not add commentary to my videos.